Let us continue with this wonderful book, Selected Letters by D.H. Lawrence. Today we're going to start with letter 31. To Lady Ottoline Morell, Gratham, Pulborough, Sussex, Sunday. My dear Lady Ottoline, I send you what is done of my philosophy. Tell me what you think exactly. Bertie Russell is here. I feel rather glad at the bottom because we are rallying to a point. I do want him to work in the knowledge of the absolute, in the knowledge of eternity. He will, apart from philosophical mathematics, be so temporal, so immediate. He won't let go. He won't act in the eternal things when it comes to men and life. He is coming to have a real, actual, logical belief in eternity, and upon this he can work. A belief in the absolute, an existence in the infinite. It is very good, and I am very glad. We think to have a lecture hall in London in the autumn and give lectures. He on ethics, I on immortality. Also to have meetings, to establish a little society or body around a religious belief which leads to action. We must centre in the knowledge of the infinite, of God. Then, from this centre, each one of us must work to put the temporal things of our own natures and of our own circumstances in accord with the eternal God we know. You must be president. You must preside over our meetings. You must be the centre-pin that holds us together, and the needle which keeps our direction constant, always towards the eternal thing. We mustn't lapse into temporality. Murray must come in, and Gilbert, and perhaps Campbell. We can all lecture at odd times. Murray has a genuine side to his nature. So has Mrs. Murray. Don't mistrust them. They are valuable, I know. We must have some meetings at Garsington. Garsington must be the retreat where we come together and knit ourselves together. Garsington is wonderful for that. It is like the Boccaccio place where they told all the Decameron. That wonderful lawn under the ilex trees, with the old house and its exquisite old front. It is so remote, so perfectly a small world to itself, where one can get away from the temporal things to consider the big things. We must draw together. Russell and I have really got somewhere. We must bring the Murrays in. Don't be doubtful of them. And Frida will come round soon. It is the same thing with her as with all the Germans, all the world. She hates the infinite, my immortality, but she will come round. I know what great work there is for us all to do in the autumn and onwards. Mind you keep your strength for it. And we must really put aside the smaller personal things and really live together in the big impersonal world as well. That must be our real place of assembly, the immortal world, the heaven of the great angels. Send my philosophy on to Gilbert, will you, and tell me if you like it. Don't be sad. We are only sad for a little while. At the bottom one knows the eternal things and is glad. My love to Julian and to you. My warm regards to Morell. Remember me to Maria and to Miss Sands and Miss Hudson. I trust in you entirely in this eternal life. D.H. Lawrence. Letter 32 to Lady Cynthia Asquith. Littlehampton, Tuesday. My dear Lady Cynthia, we have lived a few days on the seashore with the wave banging up at us. Also over the river beyond the ferry there is the flat, silvery world, as in the beginning untouched, with pale sand and very much white foam, row after row, coming from under the sky in the silver evening. And no people at all, no houses, no buildings, only a haystack on the edge of the shingle and an old black mill. For the rest, the flat, unfinished world running with foam and noise and silvery light, and a few gulls swinging like a half-born thought. It is a great thing to realize that the original world is still there, perfectly clean and pure, many white advancing foams, and only the gulls swinging between the sky and the shore. In the wind, the yellow sea poppies fluttering very hard, like yellow gleams in the wind, and the windy flourish of the seed horns. It is this mass of unclean world that we have superimposed on the clean world that we cannot bear. When I looked back out of the clearness of the open evening at this little Hampton, dark and amorphous like a bad eruption on the edge of the land, I was so sick I felt I could not come back. All these little amorphous houses like an eruption, a disease on the clean earth, and all of them such a diseased spirit. Every landlady harping on her money, her furniture, every visitor harping on his latitude of escape from money and furniture. The whole thing like an active disease, fighting out the health. One watches them on the seashore, all the people, and there is something pathetic, almost wistful in them, as if they wish that their lives did not add up to this scaly nullity of possession, but as if they could not escape. It is a dragon that has devoured us all, these obscene, scaly houses. This insatiable struggle and desire to possess always and in spite of everything. This need to be an owner, lest one be owned. It is too horrible. One can no longer live with people. It is too hideous and nauseating. Owners and owned. They are like the two sides of a ghastly disease. One feels a sort of madness come over one, as if the world had become hell. But it is only superimposed. It is only a temporary disease. It can be cleaned away. One must destroy the spirit of money, the blind spirit of possession. It is the dragon for your St. George, neither rewards on earth nor in heaven of ownership, but always the give and take, the fight and the embrace. No more, no diseased stability of possessions, but the give and take of love and conflict, with the eternal consummation in each. The only permanent thing is consummation in love or hate. D. H. Lawrence. Letter 33. To W. E. Hopkin. 1 Byron Villas, Vale of Health, Hampstead, London, 14 September 1915. My dear Willie, we have taken a little flat here and are to spend the winter in town. If ever you can get up to London, you or Sally or Enid, we can rig you up a bed. We shall be very glad to see you. I send you some leaflets about our paper. It is a rash venture. We are desperately poor, but we must do something. So we are taking the responsibility of this little journal on ourselves. Murray and I. And also we are going to have meetings in a room in town, 12 Fisher Street, which we have taken. Heaven knows what will come of it, but this is my first try at direct approach to the public. Art, after all, is indirect and ultimate. I want this to be more immediate. Get me a few people in Sheffield, will you? People who care vitally about the freedom of the soul. A few people anywhere, but only those who really care. Ask Sally to write to Mrs. Dax. I would rather not open a correspondence with her again after so long a silence, though I like her and always shall feel her an integral part of my life, but that is the past and the future is separate. Yet I want her to have this paper which will contain my essential beliefs, the ideas I struggle with. And perhaps she, Alice Dax, will ask 1 or 2 people in Liverpool, Blanche Jennings, for instance. You see, I want to initiate, if possible, a new movement for real life and real freedom. One can but try. I wish we could meet and talk. Soon I shall go to Ripley. Perhaps you will come to London. I send you the proofs of a story that is coming in next month's English Review. Tell Sally I feel she must come and see this tiny flat on Hampstead Heath. Greetings from Frida and love from me. D. H. Lawrence. Letter 34. To Lady Cynthia Asquith. 1 Byron Villas, Vale of Health, Hampstead, London, 21st October 1915. My dear Lady Cynthia, what can one say about your brother's death except that it should not be? How long will the nations continue to empty the future? It is your own phrase. Think what it means. I am sick in my soul, sick to death. But not angry any more, only unfathomable misery about it. I shall go away to America if they will let me. In this war, in the whole spirit which we now maintain, I do not believe. I believe it is wrong, so awfully wrong, that it is like a great consuming fire that draws up all our souls in its draught. So if they will let me, I shall go away soon to America. Perhaps you will say it is cowardice, but how shall one submit to such ultimate wrong as this which we commit now, England, and the other nations? If thine eye offend thee, pluck it out. But I am English, and my Englishness is my very vision. But now I must go away, if my soul is sightless for ever. Let it then be blind, rather than commit the vast wickedness of acquiescence. Don't think I am not sorry about your brother. It makes me tremble. Don't think I want to hurt you or anybody. I would do anything rather. But now I feel like a blind man who would put his eyes out rather than stand witness to a colossal and deliberate horror. Yours, D. H. Lawrence. I am so sorry for your mother. I can't bear it. If only the women would get up and speak with authority. Letter 35 to J. B. Pinker, 1 Byron Villas, Vale of Health, Hampstead, London, 6 November 1915. Dear Pinker, I had heard yesterday about the magistrates and the rainbow. I am not very much moved, and beyond that by now. I only curse them all, body and soul, root, branch, and leaf, to eternal damnation. As for Herbert, if you think it is a good and wise proceeding for him to publish the book in America, then let him publish it. But please tell him all that has happened here. I'm away from Monday to Thursday of next week. If there is anything to write to me, address me at Garsington Manor near Oxford. I will come and see you on Friday if that suits you. Perhaps you will offer me that lunch then, otherwise one day early the next week. I hope to be going away in about a fortnight's time to America. There is a man who more or less offers us a cottage in Florida, but nothing is settled yet. We have got passports. It is the end of my writing for England. I will try to change my public. Yours, D. H. Lawrence. Letter 36 to Lady Cynthia Asquith. 1 Byron Villas, Vale of Heath, Hampstead, London, 28th November 1915. My dear Lady Cynthia, you asked me to send you our news, but as there isn't any, there's no excuse for writing. People are desultorily working about the rainbow. I am struggling like a fly on a treacle paper to leave this country. I am hoping to be able to scrape together a little money so that we can go to Florida straight, instead of going first to New York. I don't want to go to New York. Not yet. Not now. I would like to go to a land where there are only birds and beasts and no humanity or inhumanity masks. This is the plan and the prospect. A man will find out about a trading ship going to the Gulf of Mexico. We sail in this soon. Then, if possible, we make for our destination in Florida, Fort Myers. Fort Myers is a little town, 5,000, half Negro, 9 miles from sea on a wide river 1.5 miles wide, backed by orange groves and pine forests. An American here will give us letters of introduction to friends there. That is the plan. I hope to find a ship and to sail before Christmas. There is the other point, whether the English government will let me go. I have had far too much already. For the rest of the news, tomorrow we are going to Garsington for a day or two. I've got a new suit, and Frida has got a new coat and skirt. I have made her a hat, a sort of Russian toque, out of bits of fur, so she looks very nice. She is also going to have a big warm coat because it is so cold. My heart is quartered into 1,000 fragments, and I shall never have the energy to collect the bits, like Osiris or Isis. In Florida I shall swallow a palm seed and see if that'll grow a new heart for me. I want to begin all over again. All these Gethsemane, Calvary, and Sepulchre stages must be over now. There must be a resurrection. Resurrection. A resurrection with sound hands and feet and a whole body and a new soul. Above all, a new soul. A resurrection. It is finished and ended and put away and forgotten and translated to a new birth, this life, these 30 years. There must be a new heaven and a new earth, and a new heart and soul, all new, a pure resurrection. Now, like a crocus in the autumn time, my soul comes naked from the falling night, of death, a cyclamen, a crocus flower, of windy autumn when the winds all sweep, and hosts away to death where heap on heap the leaves are smouldering in a funeral wind. That is the first poem I have written for many a day. A bit of it, there's much more. They burn the leaves in heaps on the heath, and the leaves blow in the wind, then the smoke. And the leaves are like soldiers. I don't know why on earth I say these things to you, why you sort of ask me, but the conscious life which you adhere to is no more than a masquerade of death. There is a living, unconscious life. If only we would shut our eyes. If only we were all struck blind, and things vanished from our sight, we should marvel that we had fought and lived for shallow, visionary, peripheral nothingnesses. We should find reality in the darkness. Sometimes I am angry that I write these letters to you, but then I am often angry. I suppose you do really care about the difference between life and death. Vale, D. H. Lawrence. Letter 37. To Catherine Mansfield. 1 Byron Villas, Vale of Health, Hampstead, Monday, 20 December, 1915. My dear Catherine, your letter came this morning. I am so sorry you are so ill. Yesterday Murray was here when the letter came. Cott brought it, and he was much upset. Do not be sad. It is one life which is passing away from us, one I is dying, but there is another coming into being which is the happy, creative you. I knew you would have to die with your brother. You also go down into death and be extinguished. But for us there is a rising from the grave, there is a resurrection, and a clean life to begin from the start, new and happy. Don't be afraid, don't doubt it, it is so. You have gone further into your death than Murray has. He runs away. But one day he too will submit. He will dare to go down and be killed, to die in this self which he is. Then he will become a man, not till. He is not a man yet. When you get better, you must come back and we will begin afresh. It will be the first struggling days of spring after winter. Our lives have been all autumnal and wintry. Now it is midwinter. But we are strong enough to give way, to pass away, and to be born again. I want so much that we should create a life in common, a new spirit, a spirit of unanimity between a few of us who are desirous in spirit, that we should add our lives together to make one tree, each of us free and producing in his separate fashion, but all of us together forming one spring, a unanimous blossoming. It needs that we be in one spirit, that is all. What we are personally is of second importance. And it is in its inception, this new life. From the old life all is gone. There remain only you and Murray in our lives. We look at the others as across the grave. a death, and a grave lies between us and them. They are the other side of the grave. The old, far side, these and these. We must not look back. There must be no looking back. There must be no more retrospection, which is introspection, no more remembering and interpreting. We must look forward into the unknown that is to be, like flowers that come up in the spring, because we really are born again. We have met one or two young people, just one or two, who have the germ of the new life in them. It doesn't matter what they are personally. Murray dismisses them with a sneer for all that which is the past in them. But I hold on by that which is the future, which is gladdening. We give up this flat tomorrow. For Christmas we go to my sister's in Derbyshire, care of Mrs. Clark, Grosvenor Road, Ripley, Derbyshire. We stay there till the 29th December. Then we go to the Beresfords' cottage in Cornwall, to live there until March. One or two others will come too. I want it now that we live together. When you come back, I want you and Murray to live with us, or near us, in unanimity, not these separations. Let us all live together and create a new world. If it is too difficult in England, because here is all destruction and dying and corruption, let us go away to Florida soon. But let us go together and keep together, several of us, as being of one spirit. Let it be a union in the unconsciousness, not in the consciousness. Get better soon and come back, and let us all try to be happy together, in unanimity, not in hostility, creating, not destroying. Love from me, D. H. Lawrence. Letter 38 to Lady Ottoline Morell. Ripley, Derbyshire, Monday, 27 December 1915. My dear Ottoline, your letter and parcel came this morning. The books are splendid, but why did you give me the book? The Shelley, you must value it. It is gay and pretty. I shall keep it safe. Did you like the Anjata frescoes? I loved them. The pure fulfillment, the pure simplicity, the complete, almost perfect relations between the men and the women. The most perfect things I have ever seen. Botticelli is vulgar beside them. They are the zenith of a very lovely civilization, the crest of a very perfect wave of human development. I love them beyond everything pictorial that I have ever seen. The perfect, intimate relation between the men and the women, so simple and complete, such a very perfection of passion, of fullness, a whole blossom. That which we call passion is a very one-sided thing, based chiefly on hatred, and will zur Macht. There is no will to power here. It is so lovely in those frescoes. We are here in Ripley, suffering rather. It is a cruel thing to go back into the past, to turn our backs on the future and go back to that which one has been. I've just been differing violently with my eldest brother, who is a radical nonconformist. Altogether, the life here is so dark and violent. It all happens in the senses, powerful and rather destructive. No mind nor mental consciousness, unintellectual. These men are passionate enough, sensuous, dark. God, how all my boyhood comes back. So violent, so dark. The mind always dark and without understanding. The senses violently active. It makes me sad beyond words. These men, whom I love so much, and the life has such a power over me, they understand mentally so horribly. Only industrialism, only wages and money and machinery. They can't think anything else. All their collective thinking is in those terms only. They are utterly unable to preach anything pure, ulterior truth. Only this industrial, mechanical wage idea. This they will act from. Nothing else. This is why we are bound to get something like guild socialism in the long run, which is a reduction to the lowest terms. Nothing higher than that which now is, only lower. But I suppose things have got to be reduced to the lowest terms. Only, oh God, I don't want to be implicated in it. It is necessary to get the germ of a new development towards the highest, not a reduction to the lowest. That we must do in Cornwall and Florida, the germ of a new era. But here, the reduction to the lowest must go on. The strange, dark, sensual life, so violent and hopeless at the bottom, combined with this horrible paucity and materialism of mental consciousness, makes me so sad I could scream. They are still so living, so vulnerable, so darkly passionate. I love them like brothers, but my God, I hate them too. I don't intend to own them as masters, not while the world stands. One must conquer them also, think beyond them, know beyond them, act beyond them. But there will be a big row after the war with these working men. I don't think I could bear to be here to see it. I couldn't bear it, this last reduction. But here they think the war will last long. They are not like London. At last one will be able to set forth from it all into the uncreated future, the unborn, unconceived era. One must leave all this to finish itself. The new unanimity, the new complete happiness beyond. One must be strong enough to create. Love from us both. D. H. Lawrence. We go to Cornwall on Thursday. There is the beginning. Letter 39. To Catherine Mansfield. Porthcothan, St. Merrin, Padstow, Cornwall. My dear Catherine, I hear Murray has gone to France to see you. Good. Also that you are well and happy. Benissimo. Give John my love. I love being here in Cornwall, so peaceful, so far off from the world. But the world has disappeared for ever. There is no more world any more, only here, and a very thin air which nobody and nothing pollutes. My dear Catherine, I've done bothering about the world and people. I've finished. There now remains to find a nice place where one can be happy. And you and Jack will come if you like, when you feel like it. And we'll all be happy together. No more questioning and quibbling and trying to do anything with the world. The world is gone, extinguished, like the lights of last night's Café Royal, gone forever. There is a new world with a new, thin, unsullied air, and no people in it but newborn people, moi-même et Frida. No return to London and the world, my dear Catherine. It has disappeared, like the lights of last night's Café Royal. We, Frida and I, both send our love for the new year, the year one of the new world, the same also to Murray. The old year had to die. But I'm not going to struggle and strive with anything any more, go like a thistledown anywhere, having nothing to do with the world, no connection. Love to you, D. H. Lawrence. Letter 40. To J. D. Beresford, Porthcothan, St. Merrin, Padstow, Cornwall. 1st of February, 1916. My dear Beresford, thanks for your letter. We heard from Barbara Lowe that you think of coming back in February. Will you tell me so that we can leave Emma a few days to make ready for you? I don't know where we shall go. It looks as if we shall have to go to a place Lady Ottoline Morell will lend us, for we are very badly off. But I should like to stay in Cornwall. I like it so much. We might afford a cottage, I think. It is quite true what you say. The shore is absolutely primeval. Those heavy black rocks like solid darkness, and the heavy water like a sort of first twilight breaking against them and not changing them. It is really like the first craggy breaking of dawn in the world, a sense of the primeval darkness just behind before the creation. That is a very great and comforting thing to feel, I think, after all this whirlwind of dust and grit and dirty paper of a modern Europe. I love to see those terrifying rocks like solid lumps of the original darkness, quite impregnable, and then the ponderous, cold light of the sea foaming up. It is marvellous. It is not sunlight. Sunlight is really firelight. This cold light of the heavy sea is really the eternal light washing against the eternal darkness, a terrific abstraction, far beyond all life which is merely of the sun, warm. And it does one's soul good to escape from the ugly triviality of life into this clash of two infinities, one upon the other, cold and eternal. The Cornish people still attract me. They have become detestable, I think, and yet they aren't detestable. They are, of course, strictly antisocial and unchristian. But then the aristocratic principle and the principle of magic to which they belonged, these two have collapsed, and left only the most ugly, scaly, insect-like, unclean selfishness, so that each one of them is like an insect, isolated with its own scaly, glassy envelope, and running, seeking its own small end. And how foul that is! How they stink in their repulsiveness, in that way. Nevertheless, the old race is still revealed, a race which believed in the darkness, in magic, and in the magic transcending of one man over another, which is fascinating. Also, there is left some of the old sensuousness of the darkness, a sort of softness, a sort of flowing together in physical intimacy, something almost negroid, which is fascinating. But curse them, they are entirely mindless, and yet they are living purely for social advancement. They ought to be living in the darkness and warmth and passionateness of the blood, sudden, incalculable, whereas they are like insects gone cold, living only for money, for dirt. They are foul in this, they all ought to die. Not that I've seen very much of them. I've been laid up in bed, but going out in the motor and so on, one sees them and feels them and knows what they are like. Hawken was very cross because Heseltine, who was staying with me, chopped down a dead old tree in the garden. I said to him, Hawken, I'm sorry, but don't trouble. It was so dead it soon would have fallen, and you may take the wood. The young men are all being called up now round here. They are very miserable. There are loud lamentations on every hand. The only cry is that they may not be sent out to France to fight. They all quite shamelessly don't want to see a gun. I sympathize perfectly with this. The cursed war will go on forever. Don't let us keep you out of your house for one moment. If you want to come in a week's time, only let us know, and all will be ready for you. We love the house and we love being here, but we can leave at a day's notice. I have got ready a book of poetry here, quite ready, which I think is a great work to have done. The Murrays write from France that they are very happy, for which I am very glad. They think of coming back in March. My wife sends warmest greetings to Mrs. Beresford and the child, and to you, in which I heartily join. Yours, D. H. Lawrence.